This week, Dunkin CEO says vegan donuts are in development. CNBC's Jim Cramer urges people to invest in vegan meat. An Australian tour company is regrowing the Great Barrier Reef, and Snoop Dogg encourages people to go plant-based. This is Live Kindly News. Remember to hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon to turn on notifications, and leave your comments below. The alternative protein industry is booming. Despite the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, alternative protein investments surged in the first quarter of 2020, raising $930 million so far, surpassing all of 2019's $824 million in funding. According to two new reports from the Good Food Institute, a nonprofit organization that promotes the advancement of plant-based, cultivated, and alternative proteins, Impossible Whopper maker Impossible Foods raised $500 million in March.
It's a huge opportunity. So we're embarking on one of the largest scale-ups in the history of the food industry.
Plant-based chicken nugget startup Rebellious Foods raised $6 million last month. The Live Kindly Company, a collective of plant-based heritage and startup brands including the Fry Family Food Company, Like Meat, and Live Kindly Media, raised $200 million earlier this year. Cell-based meat is also attracting investor attention. Cultivated meat company Memphis Meats raised $186 million earlier this year, more than doubling its 2019 investments of $77 million.
Uma Valeti here from San Francisco. 1 year after making history with the world's first clean meatball, we're at it again. I'm proud to unveil the world's first ever poultry products that were grown from animal cells without the full animal.
Plant-based meat, dairy, and egg products received more than $747 million in investments in 2019, including $457 million in venture capital and $290 million raised by Beyond Meat's IPO. With sales of plant-based meat products on the rise, Jim Cramer, former hedge fund manager and host of CNBC's Mad Money, says investors shouldn't ignore the plant-based meat market. In two recent episodes of CNBC's business show Squawk on the Street, Cramer said Los Angeles-based vegan meat brand Beyond Meat, which uses pea protein to make bleeding meat-like burgers and realistic sausages, has the potential to grow as big as Amazon or Facebook.
I think Beyond Meat, I know when I was at Costco, Beyond Meat is just a huge seller. They've been hurt by food service, but there's a groundswell. It's not Zoom with 300 million, but I think that there are people who are getting appalled by what's happened at the meat packers. And the more we read about it, the more we think, you know what? Beyond Meat is the way to be able to get protein, but skip that thing called the industrial cow.
The company's stock has risen nearly 60% so far in 2020. Vegans can rejoice. Vegan donuts may soon be coming to Dunkin. The international coffee and donut chain CEO David Hoffman made the announcement at a recent company shareholders meeting. During the meeting, he was asked if the chain would add vegan donuts to its menu. Hoffman responded, "As it relates to a vegan donut, we continue to investigate a viable vegan donut option. We are looking at it closely." English actor Stephen Fry is encouraging people to go plant-based for the environment. Sporting a Eat to Beat Climate Change t-shirt, the comedian took to Twitter last week to urge the public to eat vegan for National Vegetarian Week. Fry showed his followers what meatless recipes he's cooking. He tweeted, "It's National Vegetarian Week and I've been in the kitchen trying 3 classic recipes with a veggie twist. The recipes include curry tofu with coriander chili rice, vegan fish and chips, meatless sausages, and garlic herb mash with onion and gravy." Fry said in a statement, "I think it's fair to say that there's never been a better time to try cutting out meat and living a plant-based life. I found it good for health and energy, and if we all joined in, well, wouldn't the planet be pleased?" Earlier this month, more than 200 prominent public figures and celebrities, including Penélope Cruz, Adam Driver, Robert De Niro, and Cate Blanchett, also called for environmental action. They all signed an op-ed calling for a radical transformation of society amid the coronavirus pandemic. The editorial, entitled "No to a Return to Normal," and penned by Oscar winner Juliette Binoche and astrophysicist Aurélien Barraud, was published in the French paper Le Monde. A lengthy list of notable artists, musicians, directors, scientists, athletes, and actors lent their signatures to the op-ed. High-profile celebrities Barbra Streisand, Joaquin Phoenix, Wim Wenders, and Madonna also signed the piece. The letter reads, "The COVID-19 pandemic is a tragedy. This crisis is, however, inviting us to examine what is essential, and what we see is simple. Adjustments are not enough. The problem is systemic. It goes on to warn of how the ongoing ecological catastrophe will have immeasurable consequences. The letter explains one of these consequences would be the massive extinction of life on Earth. Coming up, Senator Tammy Baldwin wants slaughterhouses exposed. In addition to being good for the planet, Snoop Dogg says eating plant-based is good for your health too. In a recent interview with American fitness magazine Muscle and Fitness, Snoop Dogg spoke about his healthy lifestyle and his partnership with vegan snack brand Outstanding Foods.
Pig out, baby. You don't want to pass these.
The rapper said, "I think health has become a bigger priority for everyone, including myself and my family." Snoop Dogg has worked with plant-based meat brand Beyond Meat on a number of occasions. Earlier this year, Snoop Dogg starred in Dunkin's commercial, which aired on national television, featuring the Beyond Meat breakfast sausage. Last year, the rapper served Beyond Burgers at the pre-Grammys party. He also drove a Beyond Meat food truck around El Segundo, where the company is headquartered to promote its IPO.
What up, though? This is Big Snoop Dogg, and I want y'all to check out my new ride. That Beyond Meat truck. In 2019, we doing big things, baby.
The current pandemic has impacted the supply and demand of dairy in the U.S., and dairy farmers are now facing a milk surplus.
Now there's a surplus of milk, partially because people stocked up early during the coronavirus crisis and aren't buying now. Many stores are limiting their milk sales per family, and schools that would normally have milk in cafeterias aren't open.
As a result, farmers are sending milking cows to the slaughterhouse earlier than usual. Last month, the number of dairy cows sent to slaughter increased by 2.3%, according to the financial services company INTL FC Stone. According to David Darr, Senior Vice President and Chief Strategy and Sustainability Officer of the National Milk Marketing Cooperative Dairy Farmers of America, farmers aim to reduce milk production by 5% to 15%.
Well, they're having to dump it all. This is where they milk the cows at this farm in Wisconsin, and then they pump it through pipes into this room here where they normally load it into trucks. But instead of doing that, they're literally emptying it out right into the drain here, 25,000 gallons a day.
He added that the majority of farmers will most likely feel the impacts of the coronavirus on the market for 60 days. But the recent changes have already been catastrophic. He said, there are some farms who are looking at addressing their milk production by removing some animals from their herds. Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin is calling for meat companies to be more transparent during the pandemic. In a letter sent to Andre Noguera, the CEO of JBS USA Holdings Inc., Kenneth Sullivan, the CEO of Smithfield Foods, and Noel White, the CEO of Tyson Foods, Baldwin revealed she had grave concerns about the disturbing reports surrounding unsafe working conditions in slaughterhouses. She blamed unwillingness to implement safety precautions for the outbreaks of coronavirus in meat packing plants. She wrote, "I urge you to immediately and fully implement the new CDC guidance for meat and poultry processing workers and employers. I also encourage you to share any information you have about COVID-19 confirmed cases and exposure rates within your facility with health officials and the public to help prevent further spread of the virus." Coming up, a vegan hotel is opening in England. Ikea just released the blueprints for a sustainable garden sphere for free. The spherical garden can be used to feed an entire street, block, or even neighborhood, depending on population. The grow room gardening sphere design makes it easy to grow fresh produce in dense urban areas. Its frame can be constructed with just a few supplies: plywood, screws, a hammer, and access to a local fab lab. IKEA's innovative idea lab, Space 10, noted on its website, "Local food represents a serious alternative to the global food model. It reduces food miles and our pressure on the environment and educates our children about where food actually comes from. The challenge is that traditional farming takes up a lot of space, and space is a scarce resource in our urban environments." Australian underwater tourism company Passions of Paradise is regrowing the Great Barrier Reef amid the pandemic. The coronavirus outbreak forced the Cairns-based company to cancel tours during the lockdown. During their time off, CEO Scott Garden said that the family-owned company is assisting marine biologist David Suggett's team from the Sydney University of Technology in their reef resilience research.
In 2016 and 2017, the Earth witnessed a heatwave event that killed over 30% of all corals on the Great Barrier Reef.
Passions of Paradise volunteered a state-of-the-art catamaran, fuel, and 4 crew to assist in the research. The program has planted over 1,000 pieces of coral so far. A vegan restaurant in Amsterdam is experimenting with a greenhouse dining experience, so that, when the restaurant reopens, diners can respect social distancing measures and still enjoy a meal out. Mediamatic Eaton, part of the Mediamatic Arts Center, has placed small glass greenhouses along the waterside.
So we're now learning how to do the cleaning, how to do the service, how to get the empty plates out of the greenhouse again in an elegant way, so you still feel taken care of really nicely.
So far, the restaurant has only tested out its new concept on family and friends. It is seeking permission from national and local authorities to officially open for business. Although the restaurant used to serve seafood, it now only offers vegan dishes. All of its menu items are created using seasonal ingredients from selected local producers, as well as herbs from its own aquaponics garden and fermented foods from the Mediamatic Clean Lab. Margate, a seaside town on England's southeast coast, is getting a vegan hotel fit with a restaurant and a rooftop terrace. The owner, Paul Blaine, is transforming a former bookstore on 21 High Street into the 5-bedroom hotel. Blaine said everything in the hotel, down to the bed covers and pillows, would be vegan. He explained, "So doing away with feather pillows and having all vegan toiletries. It's great for vegans, but also doesn't push out those who aren't." Due to lockdown measures amid the ongoing pandemic, work on the new hotel has been put on pause, but Blaine says he is hopeful he will be able to resume work on the hotel again soon. That's it for today. Are you excited about vegan donuts at Dunkin'? Let us know in the comments below. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We'll see you again next week for Live Kindly News.